right. What is happening, people? Staying together. Uh, Welcome back to another episode of Politics. I can't get my camera to cooperate. Here we go. Okay. All right. Hopefully, you guys can hear me using this microphone. Um, you know, when you're not doing the full shows, seems to work better. Uh, Hopefully, that should be pretty clear and boisterous, I guess. Hmm, everything green. Um, but yeah. So look, we're gonna go back to like our old format. I don't have any visual media for you guys, so uh, hopefully I'll be able to give you guys attention and get some opinion from you guys. It's more of just an opinionated show this week. I'm gonna tell you about a few things going on, and then you guys just tell me your opinion. What do you think? Um, I think the thing I want to start with is uh, something that might have flew under the radar with this past election was that finally, I guess finally, the people of Puerto Rico have officially voted to, uh, like amongst themselves, to put forth legislation to be able to become a state. I think that's pretty cool. Um, Puerto Rico been a territory since the 1800s, I believe. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. Will it happen now? It's a different story. But at least now they actually, the people of Puerto Rico have voted to at least introduce it, and then just kind of go from there. Um, so just on the surface, what do you guys think about Puerto Rico becoming the 51st state? Angel, Erica, what's going on, y'all? Um, just what's your initial uh, thoughts, I guess, of Puerto Rico becoming a state? Um, it seems to be a like an older conservative independence type of area. Yet when when Puerto Ricans come to like the mainland to vote, which they can because they're American citizens, a lot of people don't know that. Um, they tend to vote, or when they've did like polls and stuff, they said it like in this past election that they will vote for Biden over Donald Trump. Um, Even though historically they've been kind of conservative in their votes, even though they can't vote for president. Uh, Erica said they need help. They need help. Would it help them? Yeah. So at the very minimum, it'll help them with representation. Because right now they have one person, one elected official that goes to Washington. It's kind of like their House of Representative member, but it's just one person. Puerto Rico is small, but it's not that small where they should get more than one person representing them. Um, that also mean they would get two seats in the Senate, just like every other state. And then it'll probably take some time to redo the population. So the next census, which I think is in 10 years or so, where they will shuffle and find out exactly how many representatives they're supposed to have. Um, so I would think it would help them. Um, Even though it's owned by the America, they they have like their own debt and their own like economy issues. So of course, bringing them into America, I mean, which our economy not great right now this second either, but potentially, it, I mean, not potentially, we'll have to absorb that debt into ours. But I mean, America's debt is what, a couple $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's another whatever it is? I don't care what it is. Like, it's not another couple $1 trillion. Um, so yeah, I think it'll help them. Um, hopefully they can because of it, because of the statehood, they'll be able to get some connections. So it wouldn't be like more like because I don't know why people think going to Puerto Rico is like leaving the country or going to a foreign land, but hopefully with them being a state, they'll be able to their tourism board will be able to broker some deals with some states and get some more travel dollars um, to Puerto Rico, which more money always helps. I don't care what state you're in, more money always helps. So I think it'll help them. Angel said that she's with it. Um, yeah, I don't really see the downside besides if you are a like Puerto Rican like person that feel like they should get their independence and they should be their own country. Uh, yeah, I mean, besides that part, which is probably the truth, that Puerto Rico should be their own country because it was once their own country. But I mean, I just don't see that happening. So all things considered, if you had to choose one way to go, I would probably choose statehood over like independence or anything like that. I think I watched a video where it was they kind of did like a uh, different age groups and male and female and just kind of seeing like do you feel like you're an American? And like it was like the younger people kind of said no. The mid range people, like the middle aged people, said kind of, and then most of the older people said their American is apple pie, which is um, funny saying it with a Spanish accent. Um, but yeah, it's true. All the people, well, not all the people, but most of the people, all the people that's in Puerto Rico now was born U.S. citizens, so they are citizens. So I don't understand why they wouldn't get their statehood a long time ago. Um, but at least now it'll be up for a vote sometime soon, I think. Um, I don't know. It's I think their governor is like a Democrat, even though they historically kind of vote for conservative type things. Never president, of course, but conservative ideals, I suppose. Um, what about it's something that always pops up almost every year or every 2 years. What do you guys think about Washington D.C. becoming a state? It's another area that's uh, it's not a state. It's not a state. It's technically not even like a city. I mean, it's a city, but um, they don't have like their own independent representation. Everybody live in D.C. the D.C. area. You get a mayor, and that's kind of it. Just that area. Um, so what about that? What about DC? You guys feel uh, DC should be a state? I, I I don't even know what exactly they will pull from. Like I don't know if it would be more like Maryland. They would take like some of Virginia because everything's just so close right there. Like I don't know exactly how they would do it um, as far as like what would be the outline of the state. But um, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Andrew said, I don't know enough to really say on that topic. Why change it now though? What's the benefit? Well, I I kind of agree with you. Like I don't live in DC, so I don't. I mean, even looking up research for this show, I didn't really find like um, this is the reason why DC should have statehood because they don't get this and they don't get this and blah blah blah. But on the surface, the thing that I think is most important, I don't know. Puerto Rico is kind of different in that sense of they can't vote for president. They can't vote for like presidents and stuff. and you get so many people in the DC area that they feel like they're not being represented. And um, the whole point of America, the voting system, all of this stuff is to feel represented. So you take, in Ohio we have two senators and however many uh, um, people that we send to the House. Uh, so hopefully, you know, at least each area feel represented. DC is an area that don't feel represented. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, it's just a plot, like Erica saying that DC is small and there's 1 foot in Virginia, 1 foot in Maryland. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know how they would exactly section it off or whatever, but that group of people, um, they don't feel represented, and it's plenty of minorities in that group in that area. The same way in Puerto Rico, um, there's plenty of minority people that don't feel represented, in a proper way. And the thing that's weird about Puerto Rico is they pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? They still pay taxes and stuff, but they don't get the benefit of like statehood. They have to ask. I mean, you guys all. That's the video I should have pulled up. You guys all seen Donald Trump when they had that hurricane over there. I want to say Maria. I'm not exactly sure. He was over there throwing like. First of all, they had to like convince him to go. He was like over there throwing paper towels and stuff, like just absurd. Enough of that guy. Um, uh, so disgusting. But uh, it's just so Angel, to answer your question, it's just a bunch of people that don't feel represented, but still have to pay taxes, still have to you know uh, do all the stuff that the rest of America have to do, only minus the representation. And literally, this country was founded on the country was founded on, and uh, the reason that the Revolutionary War happened, America, or the British colonies against Britain, is no taxation without representation. That's literally what the country. That's literally what we went to war for. The British was taxing goods coming to the colonies without giving them like representation of what they needed. Blah blah blah. That's literally what the country was founded on. So for them to not extend that to something that's in the core, like in the middle of America, as well as the colonies that they like. If you're gonna have these people, you're gonna own these territories. You got to give them the rights. You got to give them the rights. That's just how I feel about it. Now, granted, I think this is actually the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Puerto Rico actually voted that they were that they wanted to become a state. Therefore, they can now take like write up legislation and take it to Congress to the Senate, I believe, and I think that's a Senate job to vote on it and kind of see what happens. But um, I think it's the first. So in America's defense, I guess it's the first time Puerto Rico actually said I want to be a state, or the majority of people said or voted to be a state, and now we can just kind of see what happens. Uh, and just say I don't feel represented with the electoral college. The whole voting system is not good. Now that I'm agree with you. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I mean, besides getting rid of it, I don't exactly know how we fix that. I don't know if we can fix it. So sorry, Angela. If you don't feel represented by the electoral college, you're on your own. And I wish I could help you, but I can't. Um, so you guys said y'all was in on Puerto Rico, undecided on DC. I'm just want to keep a tally, which is what y'all think, and then we'll go on to our next state, if you will. Let me just write this down. All right, Puerto Rico was 4. What about DC? Angel said no on DC. Damn, uneducated no. Okay, all right, okay. I, I'll give you that, I guess. All right. So, well, anybody else tell me how y'all feel about DC? Damn, Erica, I thought you was a yes on Puerto Rico. So maybe on Puerto Rico and a yes on Puerto Rico for Angel. Angel just want to go on vacation. She not slick. And Erica is saying maybe on Puerto Rico. Erica, what about DC? What about DC? Of course, there'll be some stuff to work out. Um, man, it's tough though. Angel said you want. Let me see. You want representation? Move a street over. LOL. You can pick VA or Maryland. All right, that, that's a fair point, but it's also difficult to tell somebody like to you should move. You know what I'm saying, like we just not doing it. So yeah. So I don't know. Well, right. Okay. So let me run down these. Um, Angel said DC is a dot on the map. Erica said DC gets the right to vote and it's too small for, as what Angel said. Um, Look, I'm agreeing with you, and I don't think they will become their own independent state, but I feel like they'll draw the maps where they would split it between Virginia and Maryland, where it wouldn't be like, maybe I don't know, kind of how kind of how most of Cincinnati is actually in Kentucky. If that makes sense, like it'd be a suburb of Cincinnati, even though it's in a different state. So you still can be called, Washington DC area or whatever, but it'll actually be Virginia now, or it'll actually be Maryland now. That's how I think. I don't think it'll become its own independent state. Like I don't think they'll cut it out like that. Um, but I kind of agree with you guys that the biggest thing is I guess being able to vote, and DC can vote right now. So I you guys might have persuaded me that not that they don't deserve it, but that wouldn't be so high on my list. Where Puerto Rico might be higher on my list. Okay, I'm with y'all. Y'all got me. Angel said that's like declaring Cleveland a state, and I know you would like it, but come on, shit, Cleveland deserve it. We're very self sustaining. Look, let me tell you this: when after the country all goes to hell in some form of fashion, you know what I'm saying? When California earthquake itself off the map, when Florida is overran by sharks, um, Cleveland gonna be a destination. We got that fresh water up here. You know what I'm saying? You can't drink ocean water. We got Great Lakes up here. Cleveland gonna be a destination. I'm telling y'all. Just watch. I'm telling y'all. I'm just waiting on it. Look, that's why California. That's why every couple of years California propose a thing that they got to send to like the I don't know what it's called, the Great Lakes Society or whatever. It's all the states that the Great Lakes border, and they try to they ask about running like a pipeline from the Great Lakes to California. Like, no, no, get your own water. Learn how to filter the salt. Um, Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? No, y'all can't have our fresh water. And I'm telling y'all, watch the rest of the country gonna be in trouble. Everybody gonna be coming to Cleveland because we right on the lake. I'm telling you, Cleveland should be a state. I'll sign the papers today. Today. Uh, Andrew said, "Let's take a vacation to Cleveland. It's dope up here. I'm telling you. I'm going where the sun shines. The sun shines here from like the end of April to like October, early October. But it shines. God, cut us a break." Chanel said, "What if you had to live off the fish and lake? You eat it, man. Smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, catfish, and I'm sure there's other stuff, but that's all I've ever been able to catch there. Was been catfish, and I know small and largemouth bass. You eat it. It's fish. You eat it. That's what you do if you had to live off fish from Lake Erie. You eat it. That's what you do. Um, All right, so the last state I want to talk about is I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy. This is actually my first time hearing of him. His name is Charles Blow. He's a author. Hold on. He is a. I want to give all his credit or whatever. He's an author and a journalist. Um, that's it. Those are his only two accolades, I guess. Fish taco sound great. I'm not even joking. Fish taco, sign me up. His name is Charles Blow. He's an author and a journalist. He wrote a book, I guess, or a proposition requesting that. Uh, I'm assuming you guys know what the Great Migration was. I'm assuming you guys do. Maybe maybe y'all don't know what the Great Migration was. The Great Migration was between like early 1900s, early to mid 1900s when black people just moved out of the South. They're like, we got to get out of here just in case they try to bring slavery back. Blah blah blah. Um, from like the 19 teens to like the 70s or something like that. Um, it was some like 6 million black people moved out of the South, moving so like it kind of birthed like the Harlem Renaissance. Like everybody moving to New York, everybody's coming up to Cleveland. You know, what I'm saying doing dope stuff. That's what we do. Just trying to scrape like Jim Crow, Southern Jim Crow laws, and you know the fact that my whole family was slaves down there, so I probably should try to do something different. But this guy is calling for reverse the reverse Great Migration, which is bringing 6 million, I'm assuming, or plus a large, or as many as possible, black people back to the South, to one state. I think he suggested Georgia. I think, but bringing black people to one state, so then you actually have a state that's actually ran, even if like elected officials, this is where elected officials are not black, but the representation will have to be for the needs of the black person because all or most black people are in this one state. Um, I think when he said Georgia, I think I jumped off the train immediately. But he put his money where his mouth is. He navigated from, I think he was born in New York, but he recently moved to the north, to Atlanta or somewhere in Georgia, like most people in the north do. Like, so you're not really special in that. But what do you guys, just on the surface, what do you guys think about a reverse migration, like having almost a good majority of black people move to the South or one state in the South, and where it's actually not owned but governed, um, uh, represented by black people in like this new state. Um, Angel said, "I'd much rather live in Georgia than New York." Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what everybody do. People in Cleveland move to Georgia. People everywhere move to Georgia. Atlanta, I think, is the coolest thing ever. I happen to disagree. That's just me. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, what do you guys think? Erica said, "We are supposed to be all over, and I never move down south." Yeah, I'm pretty much with you. I'm pretty much with you. Angel said, "Some of New York is decent if you can overlook the accent." Yeah, the New York accent is weird. The New York specifically accent is very strange. It's very weird. Um, um, Andrew said, "I'm thinking diversity too." Erica said, "Out west maybe, but not down south." I kind of agree with you. Um, so some of the pushback that I guess he kind of he he did one of those things where you ask a question and you answer it. So you're like, well, people gonna say this, so I'm gonna answer the question up front. So he had so some people was thinking just like you guys. The very first thing was um, blacks already have political power in blue states in the north and the west, moving out west, like Erica just said. But his argument was that black people don't have power it's still white people that's controlling it. You know what I'm saying? Because in California, I think it says like I want to say 5%, 4 or 5%, like black people. That's what percentage in California. And California is a historically blue state, but it's not black, is what he was saying. So even moving out west, he's saying that that's not really like black governed, black. Um, I don't know what you want to call it. Like having a black majority city, like it still wouldn't be like a black majority. Angel said to Erica out west, yes, I'd honestly move south too, but depends on the area. Y'all want to go to California after I just told y'all about the it's going to earthquake itself off the continent. He also answered the question. He said that or something. He said that someone would say is that there's no jobs in the South. Um, his argument was there's no jobs for African Americans in the North or the West. Like just talking about it's poverty everywhere, it's unemployment everywhere. A black majority state would allow blacks more economic opportunities that are available in a white majority state. You know, uh, uh, so he brought up that people can't afford to move. Um, you know, he said like that's the point. That's what I'm saying. People are too poor to even move to Georgia or whatever. Um, People said it's not like people just saying like it's unrealistic and like how you gonna get this many people to come back to one state or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about having a vision and having opportunity. Uh, so I don't know, Regina, what's going on? It's been a minute. Hope all is well. Andrew said no too expensive. I'm assuming you mean California, Arizona, maybe Colorado. I'm a big fan of both of those states, to be honest. Um, Andrew said semi-stimulus. I'll move. Andrew, you're not black, so I don't think you'll be allowed to this new state. I don't know how it'll work, but I don't know if you'll be. I don't know if you're who they're looking for. um, yeah, I don't know. So like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of his initial thoughts and reasoning? Um, he compared it to the hippie invasion of Vermont, where about 50,000 young people in the 1970s represented about 12% of the state's population at the time, led to this transition of what had been a conservative state into a liberal one. Um, I mean, that's a valid point. Like I don't know. Like, what do you guys think as far as not even if it's realistic because it seems unrealistic for sure. Um, but like, do we make good points about like having a state where like we've been talking about representation all night. A state where I mean, yeah, having a state where you feel represented, where the people are forced to work for your best interest because you're the majority. Unlike anywhere else, I want to say in the country where there is no majority black or minority state. Um, Even California is close, but it's still not quite. I don't think. Erica said a lot of people don't move because of history they have in their home state. Yeah, I agree. Like how can you tell? But Erica, at the same time, you just supported Angels telling people to move from DC. Like either you got to move to Virginia, you want to vote or whatever she said. You want to vote, you got to move to Maryland or you got to move to Virginia. But what do you like your area? What if you was born in that area and you got a history in your home area? So tell somebody that they got to get up to leave just to be able to get representation. That's not always fair. Um, I ultimately I agree with you though. Andrew said, "I told you it's all about money. They will they will let me in. Now with that total you just told me, I don't know. I don't know if you can come." Erica said, "It's so hard to get people to migrate without secure jobs on deck." So look, so would you consider it? Let's say it's not Georgia. Let's say it's whatever state. Would you consider it more if it was like, all right, so you knew for a fact that you wouldn't be discriminated against, like you knew you at least have a fair shot at it. Not saying that you was going to get the job guaranteed, but you knew that you at least had a fair shot based off of your experience and education. Where sometimes in the north or anywhere now, I suppose, there are not. Sometimes some stuff is held against you before you even get there. You know what I'm saying? Like so like would you consider it? Not do it, but would you consider if you knew that certain opportunities you would have at least a fair shot at getting these opportunities? Because that's kind of an attractive thing, um, but it's definitely not a guarantee for sure. Andrew says it's unrealistic to have a state with only one race allowed to live in it. Majority okay, but don't be kicking me out. He didn't say, and I'm being absurd, like the point is, but he didn't say no white people allowed or anything like that. He even said that if the representation is white, like whoever was in the Congress or to the Senate or whatever, he didn't say that they had to be black. He was just saying that they would be forced to represent, like being kind of forced to represent and support and do stuff for the empowerment of the people that's in your state. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of forces uh, the government or yeah, Congress to do stuff for the betterment of a state that just so happen to be the majority black. It's kind of just forcing the narrative, like what people actually want to happen all the time, and then just kind of forcing that. And to say, how could anyone guarantee that? It sounds like a movie. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Clearly, like none of this is. It's all speculative, but I'm just saying, like, would you consider it? Not even do it. Would you consider it? Regina, Regina said right. Um, I'm assuming this is Brian Cranberry. Said 1,400 already spent resegregation. No, we're just talking about having a state that's majority black. That's all. Like I said, it's not that white people or other people wouldn't be allowed in. It's just actually forcing the government to acknowledge like black people and do stuff for the betterment of black people. Erica said we shouldn't go backwards. I agree. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I agree with y'all. I think this is absurd. I've never heard of this guy. I'm assuming he got some kind of clout or something. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been like a news story. Um, yeah, I just don't. It's so many factors. It's just so many factors of why this is just not a real thing. People are already moving to the south. Um, uh, if your concern is the white population, it's already diminishing. Um, it's mainly being taken over by like Hispanic population or whatever. But if you're, saying, I don't know, it's unrealistic for sure. Erica said, "What's the book?" The book is called. It's called "The Devil You Know." Let me get this right. It's called "The Devil You Know: A Black Power Manifesto" by Charles M. Blow. Try to. Sorry, the light's not gonna. It's the best I can do. A Black Manifesto by Charles M. Blow. Uh, Cranberry said, "We already know where to go: New York, L.A., Atlanta." Um, yeah, but you can have, you know, there are majority black cities, Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, etc. Um, all right, Erica, I'll post a link as soon as it's over. I'll post it. Do you want to post to the book or to post to the story or what? Just let me know. Um, and Cranberry, it's yeah, those are majority black cities. I don't even know if LA is a majority black city. Chicago, maybe. Miami, maybe. New York City, I'm not even sure if it is. I'm not sure if it is. Atlanta for sure. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't thinking like New York City is huge, man. You got to count for stuff like Manhattan, which is tons of white people. You know what I'm saying? Just majority black. Like I don't know if those are. Erica, I will post a link to the story and to the book as soon as this thing is over. But that's it, man. That's all I got for y'all. So um, you guys, you guys are way more conservative than you say. You guys don't want DC to be a state. You don't want Puerto Rico to be a state. Everybody's kind of on Puerto Rico. Y'all don't want black people to have their own state. And here I thought y'all was liberals for change. It's good to know though. It's good to know. It's just something different to talk about. Regina, don't worry about it. It's fine. You didn't miss nothing great on this episode. Just some good discussion, and just trying to find out everybody's opinion and what do they feel about Puerto Rico becoming a state or not. Washington D.C. having opportunities to become a state, and then an entirely black represented state, I suppose. um, Regina, yeah, we hope to see you Sunday. Erica said, I am conservative, but I vote liberal. Huh, that's interesting. I might be a similar, I might identify similarly with you. No, I don't think so. Not a lot. I think I'm liberal on both sides. So anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me. Appreciate the discussion. As always, oh no, I can't. Not Erica. That's funny. You guys maybe you almost got me. Made me think about it. Regina, you said you should feel better by then. That's good. Not sure what's going on, but definitely wish you the best and good health and all of that good stuff for sure. And if you're feeling up to it, join us Sunday where we'll have a guest, a repeat guest, Eric Tolbert. Come on to talk about some financials. I know y'all starting to get those tax returns. You know what I'm saying? I know that 1400 is potentially on the way, even though Mitch McConnell said today that he's going to fight that bill on every aspect. Ultimately, Democrats have enough votes to get it through, so we'll see. Um, so yeah, man. So come tune in Sunday, and learn some tools. Add some tools to your toolbox, so you can learn how to become uh, to manage your money better. To go, to not just blow this money all willy nilly like uh, Cranberry said earlier. Brian Cranberry said that he already blew his money. Um, so hopefully come up on Sunday and learn something. 5 o'clock, we'll be on with another guest. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Salute to the city as always. Looking forward to seeing y'all Sunday. If y'all need anything, let us know. Erica, I'll post a link in a moment, and I'm out of here. I'll see y'all Sunday.